In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a radial cup weaving. So this is what the outside looks like when it's done, and the inside. You're going to start with a paper cup. Paper cups definitely work the best, and a drawing template. Now, I'm going to take my 9-ounce cup, I'm going to sit it right inside of that circle. And any place where I see this line stick out from the outside of the cup, I'm going to take the Sharpie and I'm going to make a little line on the side of my cup. It is important that you do not move the cup while you're doing that, because you might mess yourself up, like I just did. And now you can see that I have dots that are evenly spaced around the outside of the cup. Now, another important thing to do is to write your name on the bottom of your cup. That way it doesn't get mixed up with anybody else's. Now, the cup is going to act as both the loom and the warp strips. It's a loom because it's holding the warp strips together, and the warp strips are what I'm about to cut right now. So any place where I see that little dot on the side, I'm going to cut a line straight up to the end of the cup. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Now, it's important that you go all the way. That right there is not all the way. All the way. And when you're done, you should see that you have evenly spaced out warp strips, which are these vertical strips right here. Now, it is time to start weaving. So I'm going to pick out a string, and I have a piece of purple yarn right here. And I'm going to take the end of it, and I'm going to tie it around to the bottom, closest to where my name is, on one of my warp strips. So 1 knot and 2 knots to make sure it doesn't move. Now, after this, it's just an A-B pattern, which just means over, under, over, under, over, under, until you run out of string. So since I'm right-handed, I'm going to take this cup and I'm going to put it upside down on my left hand, and this is going to help me hold it. And anytime I need to go under a strip, I'm going to use the fingers of this left hand to kind of push up the strip, and that helps me to move pretty quickly. So I see that this one, I can see the string, so this is my over, and now I need to put it under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And now you can see that I've gone around 1 rotation. Because there's an odd number of warp strips, when I go around the second time, I'm going to be going under the ones I went over last time and over the ones I went under last time. While I'm doing this, it's also important that I remember that I need to be pulling the string up. And if it's not going all the way up to the top, I'm using my finger to just push that string up. That's how you get a nice tight weave all the way around the outside. So I'm just going to keep going. Okay. Now, once I've run out of string and I have just a couple inches left, like I do right now, it's time to add on my next string. If you want to keep using the same color, you can do that. Or if you want to change your color, you can do that as well. So I'm going to take this yellow string, and I'm going to take the end of this purple string, and I'm going to tie them together like you would tie the knot at an end of a balloon. So I'm putting them together like this, wrapping it around one of my fingers, then pulling it through the hole, nice and tight, to make that knot. Now, this little extra bit right here can be trimmed down a little bit shorter. And then I'm just going to keep going and following my pattern like nothing ever happened. I'm just going to keep weaving around the cup. If the knot ends up on the outside of the cup, it's all right. At the very, very end, we can just tuck that in underneath the other strings. So I'm going to ignore that for right now. And I would just keep going. Now, if you find that you keep going over the same piece multiple times, it might be because somewhere along the pattern it got messed up. So for example, if I accidentally went over 2 strips and then kept going, you're going to notice that now I'm just going over the same pieces again. So you can see how I've gone over this one 2 times, that one only once, and it's kind of messed up my pattern a little bit. So when I see that's happened, I'm going to go back. Okay, I see where I went over 2 times there. So I'm just going to take my string and I'm going to gently pull it until I can get that mistake out and then fix my pattern. And then just keep going until you run out of string and you have completed your cup.